Welcome in. Welcome to Shop Talk, presented by the VTuber Industry Association. Duh.
Hey everybody. Hey, what's going on? The first Shop Talk. We did it. We're here.
We're here.
We're doing it. We're doing it, Spelly. We're doing it.
We're doing so well. So, welcome in, everyone. For those that don't know, or those that are coming in for the first time, this is our first episode of Shop Talk. Which is where we essentially talk about some of the most creative and innovative minds in the VTuber space. Ooh! And with us today, we have... This is Goblin. Hello!
Hey everybody. Hey. Hey Spelly, how are you? Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
I'm smiling so you can tell I'm happy to be here. See, this is me not happy to be here, and this is me very happy to be here. No, seriously, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. No, this is great. Look at it. Shop Talk, the first one. Look at it. This is where VTubers are born, everybody, right here in this shop.
Right
All
here
these
in this
tools,
shop.
we just hammer away at ourselves and build models in here. This is the VTuber shop. This is where the magic happens.
And that's the best part about it, is that we can talk to these amazing people who make VTubing possible. Heck yeah. All right then. All right. Sorry, like I said, I am beans. But today we're going to be discussing some really unique things going on in VTubing. Well, you know what?
Different. It always blows my mind. I always love seeing I'm just being mesmerized right now, just seeing like your model next to this, whatever I am. It's always like so fun to see just all the different styles of VTubers, and whenever there's a collab, just seeing all these bizarre characters on screen together is like such a fun thing.
Yeah, it's really, honestly, we're almost as opposite as it gets. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, for real. I think our designs are the exact polar opposite of each other, but it works. Yeah. We're getting along great. It's fine. We're friends.
And you know what's funny about that is the fact that we actually have a bit in common, even if we look completely different.
Ooh, and what would that be, Spelly?
That would be today's topic, actually. We're going to be talking about, well, a little bit about animation. More so, just kind of talking about how you got into it, how you got into VTubing, and how you got into how you look today.
Cool. Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much for having me, and thanks to the whole team behind the VIAs. Like, I really appreciate, how kind and supportive you all have been, and really honored to come here and talk to you guys, because I really do love what you're doing. And we were kind of talking about this before. I love that you're all kind of shining a light on the artistry behind VTubing, and really kind of digging a little deeper into like how things are made, and the different types of models and what goes into making them, and all that behind the scenes stuff is just so fun. So appreciate what you guys are doing, and thanks for giving the weird little artists a platform.
Yeah, and we're really excited to be able to have that opportunity to essentially shine a spotlight on everyone who, we see all these different types of things, whether it's an award show, whether it's even interviews, honestly. But typically when we see these kinds of things, it's someone who is a VTuber themselves. Well, ironically, we're interviewing a VTuber themselves, but it's usually people who are the entertainers, like solely the entertainers. Sometimes they are their own artists, or they made their own assets and stuff. But we're also planning to go about talking to people who may not even be VTubers themselves, just people who make VTubing a thing. Yeah. We're really excited.
I like that. Yeah, I love that. That's actually a brilliant idea. Like, bring in some model builders and designers, and because that's the thing with VTubing that always blows my mind is like it is just this crazy mix of like every skill imaginable. Like you got to be good at a little bit of everything to make all this work, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's a lot to manage, but there's so many crazy talented people doing it. Like yeah, I mean that's, I'm still relatively like new to the whole thing. I only been VTubing for like a year and a half now.
Oh wow.
But when I kind of started getting into it, like I was just so inspired by yeah, just like the innovation and creativity. Because I work in animation, and everything is so, you know, overproduced, and it takes a long time. It's a very tedious process. Everything takes like years and years and years to kind of see a finished product. So I was really amazed by like the immediacy of VTubing, and like how quickly you can just like, when you have an idea or you just want to like try something out, you could just make it happen like relatively quickly, and there's that direct line to the audience and communities, and I don't know. It's just it's such a fun sandbox to play in, and honestly, it's probably the most like creatively inspired and like rejuvenated I've felt in a long time.
Oh,
It's
that's
been
really
so
nice to
fun.
hear. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it, and I'm just inspired by so many. I could go on listing a million people, but like Big Nose Bug was like a big one that I kind of like discovered. It kind of blew my mind what she was doing. And then my buddy Nilbog Live, he's like an Unreal Engine Blender VTuber, and he's doing amazing stuff. Uh, Shout out Nilbog, he's doing amazing stuff on the 3D side. And then you have people like Shindigs who are just like
Yes.
wizards with like Sammy and programming, and that the whole like interactive element of VTubing is something else that really like appeals to me. Um, it's like interacting with your favorite show, your favorite characters. Like it's so playful. It's just a lot of fun.
It is. Actually, being a part of the VIA, I've come across way more than I have seen like beforehand. There's just so much creativity in this space that it kind of is proven that it goes unnoticed, because there are
So
some
much.
people I have not seen, never heard of, that I think deserve so much more recognition, because they're just insanely talented with what they decide to, even just the idea, let alone being able to execute it. It's so cool to see.
I agree. And I mean, even with what you guys did, like, again, thank you for what you're doing, because
Oh.
there's just so much. I mean, that's just a problem with the internet in general, right? It's just, there's a lot to sift through. It's hard to find stuff. So when there's a platform that takes the time to sort of like curate and find interesting kind of unknown artists and people, um, I love that. That's so valuable, because yeah, I discovered so many amazing artists through that event, through that award show, and all the nominees and stuff. And I mean, I think I followed every single person you nominated, because they were
Aw,
just everyone was so talented and
super.
doing something so different. Yeah, that's the other thing. Just the variety you find, and like just look at the two of us, right? Like we could not be more different.
Ooh.
Where we exist in the same VTuber
Right.
universe, but we're so different. And yeah, it's just wild to see like everyone expressing themselves and experimenting. Well, what's better than like creative experimentation? And that's the other thing too, like meeting everybody that's in this sphere. Like everyone is so enthusiastic. Like
Oh
that's
yeah.
exciting too. Like
Yeah.
I feel like you don't get into VTubing to like half-ass it. You don't like get into VTubing if you're like lukewarm about it. Like you got to be fucking enthusiastic and kind of insane to want to try and make all this work. So I feel like we share that bond, that we're all like a little
We're just
crazy.
yeah. Because either,
We're all creative weirdos. We're all
yeah,
just like little creative weirdos, and it's nice. I like it. I feel a bond with all of you. It's wonderful.
it's a really nice connection. And it's really nice to just know that there are so many people out there that are able to express themselves in so many different ways.
And look at your model. I love I was commenting before we got started. I love your hand tracking, your arm tracking. I love like the crazy, yeah, look at the particle physics coming out of you. Like,
And
oh
look
my
at
God.
your model. Your model looks like it's legitimately from an animated show. That's just
Thank
here.
you. Yeah. Hydrate, everybody. Don't forget to take a drink.
Good idea.
Yeah. I got my little blood bag here. This was I interviewed someone who identified as a vampire. So every time every stream I try to build like some new assets or new triggers or whatever. So this is from my like vampire interview with a vampire stream. And I didn't realize that they identified as an energy vampire. So then I'm the idiot here with like blood, and I was just like, you know, drinking blood while I'm talking to someone who claims to be an energy vampire. But that was fun. But it's been a good asset to have. Now I can constantly, you know, take a little sip of some blood whenever I feel like it.
Yeah. That actually leads to two different questions. The first one being, just how many assets have you created over time then?
Oh God, I've lost count, but you know, like I try to, so like just I'll give you like a real, you know, quick little rundown, my spiel, but I am I am a goblin, and my channel is This Is Goblin, and I guess I'm a variety streamer, I guess, but I mean I kind of do whatever the mood calls for. Sometimes I'll do an art stream. Sometimes I've been doing a lot of collaborations with friends and stuff lately, but usually the typical format is I'm doing like a talk show. So I usually have guests who are real people, and I try to find like people with kind of quirky, interesting, unique personalities. Sometimes they're involved in the paranormal. Other times they're just people like I think I'll have an unhinged, fun, entertaining conversation with. So I've had guests on like a mall Santa, a cryptozoologist, as I mentioned, someone who identified as a vampire. I've had a psychic on. I've had a 96-year-old man, Tan Mom, Longmont Potion Castle. I just recently had a life coach on. I found on Craigslist sort of like the quirkiest, weirdest life coach I could find, who I was pretty sure was going to give me bad advice. But then he actually gave me really good advice. He was actually like a good life coach, and we learned together. We came out of that stream better people. But yeah, so you know, I just like to have quirky, strange guests on, and just you know, the humor that comes from you know, getting a cartoon goblin getting an authentic psychic reading, you know, and you know, I mess with them a little bit. We have some fun. Like sometimes I have like a little bit of a bit, and you know, I'm a goblin. I'm a little mischievous, so we have fun. But yeah, that's basically sort of the gist of my stream. But then every stream, you know, I try to build some new, you know, some new triggers. Every stream I try to add some new animated triggers, or if I have a guest on, you know, I'll build like an asset for them. I was just, you know, I have lots of little props, you know. I have lots of little props I can pull out, which I love, and you know, you guys already saw the blood and everything. But yeah, you know, make sure I'm presentable. But yeah, I'm always just kind of adding to the rig. Anytime I'm like, oh, it would be fun if Goblin could do this, I'll put that together. And the other thing like I really love though about VTubing is just, again, the interactivity and like the immersion of it. So the feel I want and that I'm going for is like, I want you to feel like you're watching something that's like a seamless animated show. I want something that feels like Space goes coast to coast, but it just so happens that it's live and you can interact with it. So all of my redeems to kind of like interact with the environment and me and everything is, I try to make it all very immersive and very seamless as much as possible anyways, you know.
I was gonna say, at least all the ones that you just showed now, they were all very smooth. Like legitimately, it just feels like I'm talking to a cartoon.
Smooth. Smooth. Oh yeah, you're here.
Smooth.
You're here. I mean, I am too. I mean, you know, we're all that's the interesting thing. Like I can't do what you do, and I can't do the hand tracking, and I don't have the fun particle physics. And
Wee.
that's kind of the fun, is that everybody's rig and character sort of has its own like skill set and its own like highlights of what it wants to be and what you're the vibe you're trying to catch. So that's kind of fun. And so like you know, again, I'm trying to bring my like animation sensibilities into VTubing, and what does that look like? Someone who's worked as an animator as a career, like what can I bring to VTubing that's, you know, maybe slightly different or whatever, you know?
I think it's very unique and very impressive, especially coming from, you
Oh,
know,
thank you.
another animation
that.
background, that it's like it must have taken so long or so much work, or even just the planning aspect of it. How did you wind up getting into because I assume because you're an animator that you were like, oh, I want to go into VTubing. This is how I want my VTuber to look.
Yeah, I mean that's a great question, and I mean again, I want some of those magic particles too that you have. I'm so like,
Feel free to.
every time you move your hand, yeah, I'm just like, I'm so like overstimulated by them. I'm like, oh, the sparkles, they're everywhere, they're everywhere. I love them. Yeah, your model's beautiful, Spelly. It's really cool. Love what you do. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, so I was on a project, and it was wrapping up. This was like 2023, I believe. It was wrapping up, and the industry the last year, for those of you who aren't super familiar or following what's going on in the animation industry, like the last couple of years have been kind of slow, you know, like the streaming wars kind of imploded, and all the studios kind of realized that they you know, their streaming channels are not profitable, so they were like, okay, let's start cutting costs and all this kind of shit. So there's been a lull in the animation industry, and you know, studios have sort of been cutting costs, and they were, especially last year, not a lot of new projects were being greenlit. So that, coupled with this sort of like impending doom of AI that's continuously being like held over our heads, I was trying to like read the writing on the wall and be like, you know what, like I need to adapt. I need to learn some new skills. I need to see like what else is out there. And then I kind of came across VTubing, and I was like, yes, this is the thing. Spelly is the future. Spelly is the future of entertainment. Like, look at this. Like, your favorite animated cartoon character is fucking real, is alive, and you can interact with them, and you can share a community, and you know, we can all sort of like enjoy our entertainment on this whole other level that's impossible with, you know, like scripted pre-recorded content.
Right.
So yeah, I just, you know, and again, I was inspired by some other VTubers that I had seen, and I just, you know, I just kind of wanted to see like what it was all about. So I had this little goblin design that I actually designed Gob like maybe like years and years ago, and I always kind of liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I'll find the right project for him. I'll find a use for Gob, and this is it. VTubing was Gob's purpose in life. God damn it, he was just waiting.
Worth the wait.
But yeah, so yeah, all my rig is built in Adobe Character Animator. You know, I work a lot with Adobe for animation. We used Photoshop a lot. You know, Adobe Animate used to kind of be like the gold standard animation tool. It's kind of moved to Toon Boom Harmony now. But yeah, I was just very used to like the Adobe ecosystem, and you know, I pay their $1,000 a month subscription fee, so I was like, I better get my fucking money's worth. So that's sort of why I chose Adobe Character Animator. And the other reason too was I knew I wanted to make a model that was like, because Adobe Character Animator does like parallax and kind of three-dimensional stuff too, but I wanted something that felt a little more like traditional, like cartoon TV animation, a little flatter. I really wanted to like lean hard into like trigger animations, like all the dumb little, like, you know, here, I'll run through them, all the different little, I got a little wave, I can point at Spelly, you know, shrugs, fists, I can slam this desk. Oh, that's solid. That's good workmanship right here. The shop is, you guys did a great job putting the shop together.
I am so glad
This
it's
is my
not
favorite
falling
one. I
apart.
love my little wiggle fingers, my little Homer fingers. I love that one. But then yeah, like, you know, lots of little expression changes, and I wanted them to feel like frame by frame animation, not necessarily like traditional facial tracking
Right.
type of stuff. Which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I love it all,
Yeah.
but again, like I just kind of wanted to. I'm an animator, so I was like, how do I inject
Yeah, it's your
my
own
animation
thing.
into a VTuber? Yeah.
Exactly.
So, you know, that was sort of where my head was at when I started all of this. It's just a creative experiment. I just wanted to try something new, and again, just kind of like reading the room of what's going on in the animation industry, and I was like, well, you know, like let's see what other tools are out there. The mandate at these studios is always like make things faster and cheaper, and you know, they're always talking about wanting to do like topical content, and you know, like streaming and social media is kind of eating the lunch of the big studios, and they don't really, they're kind of unsure of how to break into those spaces. So I wanted to learn all this so that maybe, you know, I could, you know, bring it to them and show them like, hey, look at this fun stuff we're making, and why don't you let us make this stuff on a bigger scale, and experiment with it. And it's been, you know, like somewhat successful. I did like a little social media campaign with Warner Brothers. They did like a kind of like a Bugs Bunny VTuber, like a Looney Tunes live thing they did on April Fools, with, you know, Eric Bauza voicing the character, and then I was puppeting the Bugs VTuber rig.
Really
so, you know,
cool.
like baby steps. The studios are always like very kind of slow and unsure. They're very risk adverse, you know, so they're always kind of like weary of adopting like experimental new pipelines and techniques.
I know that feel.
But you know, they've been pretty open minded, and they've let me fuck around a little bit. So
Yeah.
it's
No, I'm
been
really
fun.
glad to hear. And that would actually make you a really big stepping stone into entrepreneuring.
Steppy stone.
Yeah, a stepping stone for pushing VTubing into a more mainstream light, because that is something we're all kind of striving towards. So that, because even now, though VTubing is pretty grand on our end, it's still technically a niche. Like, even streaming is still a bit of a
Don't
niche.
get me wrong, I like that too. Like I spent most of my career working at like an indie studio, and it was only within the last 5 years that I started working at like a big studio like Warner Brothers. But most of my career I was kind of spent as like a generalist working at like a small indie studio. And I wouldn't trade that experience for anything, because indie is sort of like, indie is where you get to experiment. Indie is where you get to like take risks and do like weirder things, and take chances, because the stakes are a little lower, you know what I mean? There's not as much like money involved, so that they're willing to sort of like take a risk on like new ideas or whatever. So yeah, that's the thing, is like, I don't want to sound, although I probably am, I don't want to sound like I'm like some kind of like VTuber sellout or something, but
No.
I think the indie space is super important, and we need to keep doing what we're doing just on our own, because that's where the innovation is going to come from. The innovation always comes from indie artists, like always, because again, we're not worried about, you know, we're not worried about risk aversion and the bottom line. We just want to make cool stuff, right? We just want to be creative and express ourselves. Exactly. So we're the ones that are going to like come up with interesting things, and then, you know, some of that might trickle through to the mainstream and some of it might not. But I don't know, it's just exciting. I just think VTubing is such like an amazing medium that, you know, like you said, there's so many VTubers, and it's such an amazing huge genre, but it's still kind of niche, which is funny to me that it's like, I always wonder why that is. It's strange to me that it's still like this niche thing that most people don't really know about.
I think it has a lot to do with, even, this is gonna sound really silly, but even Twitch as a whole is pretty niche. At least if you compare it to something like YouTube, where you could ask someone off the street if they know what YouTube is or if they know what Twitch is, and some people are going to say they've never heard of Twitch, whereas almost everyone may have heard of YouTube at this point. That, like, you know what I mean?
Which that blows my mind too, because I mean, Twitch is just like this behemoth platform. Yeah, it is interesting. But even like on YouTube, like I feel like most people don't associate YouTube with like live streaming necessarily.
Exactly. It's all the
At least
pre-recorded.
not the at least not the normies, like but yeah, it's interesting. And again, like I'm so inspired by everything that VTubers are doing, and I'm so like inspired and intimidated by all of you, because again, like this is where the real art is happening. This is where, like I love what I do. I love my day job, but like there's a lot of safe decisions that are being made. It's, I mainly work on like IP. There's not a lot of like original content being made these days. So, like it's just this is the place where new ideas are kind of being, incubated, or whatever word you want to use to fucking describe it,
Yeah, you had mentioned IPs, and it actually made me think about how I, honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I take for granted that almost every VTuber, for the most part, is an OC. It's someone's, original character. Do not steal. So it's like...
And isn't that amazing? I love that.
Yeah.
And like people get so, like people are, and it's not just the visuals, it's personality, and it's lore, and it's story, and community. There's just so many layers to it that's kind of amazing.
Yeah, and so many people go about it in so many different ways. Just like you had the whole list. Some people really dive into their branding or their VTubers. Some people really dive into the story making. Some people dive into the interactions with their community and stuff. There's like so many different outlets and different ways that people can be creative.
Yeah, there's so many angles you can come at it from. Like what about Spelly? Does Spelly have like go deep into the lore? Like,
oh, that's honestly, that's another conversation for another day. The lore is so...
That's a whole other episode of Shop Talk right there.
Yeah,
is the Spelly lore.
Because Spelly, be honest, she's not even the main character of the lore. The lore is just a huge world building.
Oh my god.
But
I
actually,
love that, though.
I would love to hear a little bit about your lore and the lore behind Gob.
See, that's the thing. That's probably the one angle that I have not really gone that deep into, is the lore. Like, I always just kind of saw Gob as like an extension of myself, and I'm very much like, Gob is a love letter to just the things that I like, that I find entertaining, that I find quirky or funny. I always worry. I'm always like, oh, this is the stream where I'm just going to completely alienate my entire fucking audience, and everyone's going to hate this. Because like, I don't really like chase trends or anything like that. Like, I'm always just trying to think of some fun, stupid idea that like I think is good. And then who the hell knows what anybody else is going to think of. But yeah, like, again, I mentioned like Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Was like a big inspiration for what I'm doing. I'm a millennial, so like, I grew up with like, like all kinds of weird interview formats, like and Space Ghost and the early days of Adult Swim, and like I always loved like Pee-wee's Playhouse, and loved like weird podcasts and talk shows and stuff. So I was just like, how do I bring that into the realm of animation and VTubing? So that's kind of like the angle that I've gone in. And I always liked, like when back in my day, when I was a kid,
back in my day.
like public access cable was sort of on the verge of death, but like every once in a while you would find like a random TV show like in the middle of the night that you felt like you weren't supposed to be watching as a kid. And it was just like, what is this? It's like they've gone rogue, and it's like Tom Green or something, and they're just making like weird shit that like who's letting this guy do this stuff. And now now we all have like, anyone can be that. Anyone can create whatever content they want. But like when I was a kid, it was rare to see that, where things weren't like scripted or being, there was a lot of gatekeeping, and it wasn't as easy to like make your own stuff when I was a kid. so discovering that always had like this like magical exciting quality to it, and that's I've never felt that again until like VTubing. And it's the same thing, like when I find a Twitch channel or a streamer that I really like, you know, it's like you're discovering something that's, hey, this is meant for me, like this speaks to me, and this is like a hidden gem, you know. There's like this excitement to discovering, you know, new content creators and you know, people doing fun weird stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I want to capture, I want to try and be like, contribute in my own little tiny way, like just I want to be able to contribute to that feeling of fun and playfulness, and like here's something weird and different, and hopefully something that some people haven't seen before, you know.
And it absolutely is. I have not seen anyone who tried to go through. I think it's really, really neat. It's definitely, you know, honestly, when I started getting into VTubing...
I mean, look, hey, I'm not... That's the thing. There's so many people doing so many different, wildly different, amazing, innovative things. Like, I really appreciate you saying that. It's so kind, but it always makes me feel like I have a tough time taking a compliment like that, because it's like, I am just a drop in a giant bucket. Like, what you do is different from what anybody else is doing. What I'm doing is different. What Nilbog is doing is different. What Shindigs is doing is different. Like, it's crazy. Like, everybody is bringing something different to the table, and it's amazing. It's so amazing.
It's amazing. Super inspiring. Sorry, my tracking is being Speaking of amazing, sometimes
I keep getting distracted by your magical particle physics. You gotta like give me a blast of the magic.
I can see if I can reach. My arms are kind of short.
Yeah. Give it to me, Spelly. Cast a spell. Do some weird shit. Oh my god, I feel it.
May the sparkles be bestowed upon you, and you also have sparkly hands. That apparently jazz out.
You reverted me to my true form.
Oh my!
Look what you've done to me, Spelly. What have you done?
This is truly, honestly, how the interview was meant to be. It is meant to be with the true...
I know. Casting all the magic.
You had actually mentioned...
I'll open my eyes now.
You had mentioned why you went into an animated type of VTuber rather than, you know, they have the live 2D VTubers, the 3D VTubers, PNGs and everything. But you also mentioned that you started getting into talk shows. Was that the original idea when you went into VTubing?
Yeah, I mean, originally, like, you know, I actually just did a year and a half into VTubing. I did my very first gamer stream like a couple weeks ago, which is hilarious.
Actually, that
was I was peer pressured into it. No, it was really nice actually. Another VTuber friend of mine I mentioned, Nilbog. He commissioned these really amazing Mario 64 like custom character mods. So we played, like, a couple of us played like Mario 64 co-op together as little avatars of our VTuber character designs, which was a lot of fun. So that's all it took. That's all it took to finally get me to play a game on stream, was to put me in the fucking game. Like, you know, it's so demanding. I'm so high maintenance. No, it was fun, but it's just, you know, like, I'm a very casual gamer. Like, yes. There are so many other people that have more to offer in that area than I do. So, yeah, the talk show thing was just sort of something I've always like enjoyed, and I thought would be a fun, you know, angle to kind of come at VTubing with. And I genuinely love having conversations with interesting, strange people. I don't know if you've ever heard of Tan Mom, but she was a guest on one of my streams, and that was total chaos. And she is such a wild card type of person. I love her, but yeah, I love having like a guest on who I know is going to you know, completely take things off the rails, and just everything's gonna get weird, you know, talking to them. Tan Mom started hitting on me, you know, partway through the stream, and even it's just bizarre. Like, some of my guests they always know they're on a live stream, but some of them know they're talking to a cartoon goblin, and some of them don't. Just sort of depends on like what I think is going to be funniest, because sometimes it's funny. I always try to like drop hints that they're speaking to a goblin, and just kind of see how they react to all of that. But yeah, it's just it was a format that just appealed to me, that I thought I could have fun playing with, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. You said some of them don't know that you're a goblin?
Yeah, so it's fun. I love it. It just depends on who I'm talking to. So like they always know that I have a rule. Like I'm not trying to trick anybody or anything, but I want to have fun. So it's funny to me that they don't realize sometimes they're talking to a cartoon goblin, and kind of have fun with that whole idea. They always know they're on a live stream, but then if they ask more questions, I'll answer those questions. But it's hilarious because they will never, I'll invite them on a stream, and it'll be like, hey, I do like a live stream on Twitch, like I would love to have you on as a guest, and they don't ask a single follow-up question. They don't ask who I am, what the show is called.
Right.
They don't even ask for a link. They don't care. It's just so funny. So I'm like, okay, you don't care, so we're gonna run with that, and you're just. And then we always try to drop hints over the course of the interview, and I try to refer to myself subtly as a goblin, and sometimes it just completely goes over their head, and other times it just causes all kinds of confusion. I had a mall Santa on around the holidays, and he was very confused. I kept asking him about like hiring goblins over elves, and you know, he was being very discriminatory against goblins. That
How
Santa
dare.
Claus, I have to say. Yeah, he's got it out for goblins. He only wants to hire elves. He doesn't
What was
trust
his
goblins.
reason for that?
To do
Why only
anything for it.
elves?
His reason was really lame. He just basically said like, well, I've been hiring elves for thousands of years. Like, I'm not going to change that now, and we're not going to quit what worked. But I love that. So I had like a mall Santa on, and he did not. It was great. He did not break character once. Like, I was just asking him the most ridiculous fucking questions, and he answered them all so seriously, like in character as Santa. Like, we were trying to have him break character, and he would not once. Gave him like a bunch of hypothetical situations, you know, like if he was stranded in Siberia with a reindeer, like which one would he eat first? You know, I gave him a bunch of hypothetical situations to see like what would land someone on the naughty list and what might not, and like at what point does yeah, at what point does, well, evidently murder and self-defense is okay with Santa, and that will not land you on the naughty list.
Oh, good. I needed to know that.
Exactly. We learned all the loophole, but it's just funny. So that's sort of like the vibe is like, I'll have a guest on, and I just give them enough information to you know, make sure they know what they're getting into, but then I'll just kind of let it go wild and get weird.
That is really nice. And that sounds like it's a really fun time, honestly. I'd love to.
It's fun.
Go a little crazy, tries to stare at the camera, having super trouble looking forward.
Look deeply into our eyes.
I look like I'm twisted up. Ooh. That's just part of the experience.
my eyes are up here, Spelly. My eyes are up here.
Yes, I am looking deeply into your eyes.
Good. Thank you for respecting me. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I would never not. Oh, yep. Can you actually, do you mind sharing some of your, I think I asked earlier, are there any other toggles that you maybe don't even get to show that often on your own stream? Like maybe you made it once for something when you had, you said that you make some toggles when you do some interviews. Do you have any that you haven't used in a while?
Yeah. I'll usually like disable them afterwards, but like for every guest, like I always try to like plan like a little bit for each guest, and I'll create like, you know, I'll create like some triggers and toggles that are specific for that guest that I know I'll probably be able to like turn into a bit or just have fun with.
Yeah.
And again, like there's a lot of like, I try to do a lot of like prop interaction too with the character, which I find fun. So like my co-host is a Skull. His name is Skull, and he is my co-host, and he doesn't really talk. He just kind of clicks. He just kind of like chatters around my desk. But so he's like a but yeah, and there's like little side characters. Like I have like some redeems that sort of enter. You know, I'm sorry breaking the illusion right now, but unfortunately, and Skull is not a real Skull. I always love that. I love like streamers like Jol. Yeah, I love streamers like Jol or Shindigs, where they just like invite the chaos from chat and kind of invite chat to go rogue and you know, mess with things. And so I try to do that through like redeems, where like make some fun redeems that people can spam and kind of like cause a little controlled chaos, you know?
Aw, so they can break things all around.
Yeah, I love that. A little, what you know, it's not a stream without a little bit of scuff. You got to break something during a stream.
Exactly. Luckily for us, it's
this stream is going too smooth, Spelly. Why hasn't anything broken yet? What are we doing here? Where's the scuff? Where's the scuff at?
Scuff? I've never heard of scuff. Meanwhile, my arm goes completely 360. Scuff.
No, I'm amazed by it. No, you're just casting all those spells. You're just constantly.
Yeah. That's actually how spellcasting works. Where I'm from, you have to contort your body. It's not like just using a wand. You just your body is the wand, and you just contort it in different ways to cast the spells.
I love that. Those are some advanced spells you're casting right now. Like I would be in pain for days if I attempted those.
Yeah, me too. I am typically, but you know, it's how we vibe. Cast one spell in pain for 2 days. It's okay.
I love it though. It's so fun. Yeah, those particle physics are fun. I don't know why. I always like. It's like jingling keys in front of a baby. Like particle physics just make me happy. Just make my brain happy. I'm just like, ooh, little floaties and things flying around. Like, I know. I love it.
So, I was gonna ask actually, how long does it take you to make all of these like toggles and assets and stuff? Or does it vary? Oh my
god, Spelly. Why would you ask? Spelly, why would you? And it's so funny. Spelly, we were talking about that, about like Spelly and I before stream were kind of just like getting to know each other and kind of talking about how absolutely terrible and unhealthy our sleep schedules are.
Oops.
So that is the answer. The answer is I have a very strict rule where I don't go to bed anytime before 4 a.m. I have a very strict 2 hours of sleep a night regiment that I'm on. No, you know, like that's the one thing that I wish I had more time to do this. And my goal is definitely to have a much more regular stream schedule than I currently have. Because, you know, like I got my 9 to 5 and then, you know, I come home and I have, you know how life works with like real life responsibilities and shit. Like, you know, all that stuff, you know, all that stuff that gets in the way of, you know, working 24/7.
Sleep.
But yeah, Spelly and I definitely share. I feel like all VTubers are workaholics. I feel like all VTubers are just constantly chipping away at their ideas.
I say this
so you know how it works. Like whenever I have a free moment.
Yeah.
What's that? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I say this all the time. I feel like everyone in this space is a workaholic, and it's very normal to work 80 hours straight. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
which is weird. On one hand, I like it's unhealthy, but on the other hand, like I admire it because everyone who VTubes again is like a special kind of crazy, a special kind of passionate. They're so invested in their art, and I, you know, I can't help but like respect that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should sleep once in a while. I don't know, but I don't know what the answer is. But yeah, basically, you know, it just depends. Like every stream, I have a couple stream ideas that I'm working on, and unfortunately, that's kind of how my schedule works right now. Is basically I won't have a set schedule and I won't have a set date for like a certain idea basically until it's done, until I have all the, you know, all the little like bits and pieces and assets I need.
Right.
And I mean, currently I'm like 100% like DIY streamer. I'm doing everything myself, and I'm learning. I had never touched OBS before.
Oh,
So I'm learning all this stuff kind of as I go, which is fun, but also how it goes. Like sometimes you spend like hours just troubleshooting.
yes.
So it just depends. But
That moment.
it's about the journey, Spelly. It's about the journey, right? Not the destination. Like let's enjoy those late nights of troubleshooting.
That's exactly why we don't need to sleep, because that's part of the journey. The destination can be sleep at some
Exactly.
point.
That beautiful sleep deprived journey. Oh, yeah. I call it a journey, and it is a true journey because I'm constantly hallucinating. Like I'm constantly
You too.
like you're real, right? Like you're actually here right next to me right now, right? Spelly, you're a real
Well,
magical
if I could poke
entity.
you, I would. And if you could feel it,
go ahead, poke.
I'm trying to.
Boop me.
It's having. Oh wait,
Boop me.
I booped. Did you feel it?
I felt it.
So
you're
then
real.
I must be
Checks
real.
out.
It's
It checks out. You're a real. Are you technically like a witch, or what is Spelly? What is
witch headmistress. Yep.
Witch headmistress. Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to label you a witch without,
That's no word. Well, I guess if we're being more
first
specific,
making sure.
I'm just a magic user, but because I have the witch, like I said, there's a whole lore. I can absolutely tell you more about it at some point.
We need to, you need to like clue me into the lore after stream. I want to learn, because that's a thing I haven't really gone deep into. Like as deep my lore, the deepest my lore goes is that Goblin lives deep below the Earth's crust underneath Los Angeles, and Goblin Goblin's only connection to humanity was watching TV shows and talk shows and trash TV. That's like his only frame of reference of how to like socialize and fit in with people. So he's finally connecting with everyone through a talk show, because that's the only way he knows how to interact with other people.
That's actually a really solid lore, because it makes sense, and it actually ties in with your VTubing, because if a lot of people have lore like, oh, this person saves the world, and then when they're on stream as a VTuber, they're goofy.
My lore, no, but my lore is so boring. I could have thrown in some death, some magic. I could have spiced it up a little bit. I mean, basically my lore is basically just the story of who I am for real. I'm just a pop culture junkie who likes cartoons, and that's my lore. That's, what more do you need? What else do you want?
A beautiful
from me,
lore.
people?
It's super uncomplicated. Honestly,
teach me some magic, Spelly. Yeah, you need to teach me some magic so I can spice things up a little bit.
I could teach you the spell of how to fall under the desk. Whee!
Oh, where'd she go? Where'd she go? Oh my God.
Have fun taking over the show.
Spelly, can you hear me? Her power is unparalleled. I'm impressed. Oh my God.
I actually don't know where I am.
Oh. Whoa! Oh my God. Materialized.
That's crazy.
Spelly, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
My mind is
abracadabra blown. Disappear. Still crazy.
It's canon. That's canon now. That spell is canon.
It's a true. Actually, I usually cast an invisibility spell. Happens all the time. When I have to.
I love that. That definitely comes in handy. Yeah, when you need like a bathroom break or a hydration break.
Aw. So, the style of YouTubing that you do is, as I've said,
Spelly, this is
a
great.
billion times.
I just want to say, Spelly, this is great. I appreciate you. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. Guys, it's the first fucking episode of Shop Talk. Shop Talk. That's the jingle, okay? We're writing it right now. It's Shop Talk with Spelly and Gob. Ding.
Now I have to clip that, and I gotta make sure to keep it. I'm gonna turn it into an audio.
That's I want some residuals every time you play that theme song.
Oh, absolutely.
You're welcome.
Oh man. Sorry, I was actually hydrating, so right now is a really good time to
I'm
hydrate
not.
if you
Yeah,
want.
I'm not a musical. I'm not like a musical VTuber. That's a whole other. We didn't even talk about that.
Oh
Like
my
that's a whole
gosh,
other
yes. That is
karaoke VTubers and VTubers, like the
like
idol
we've
culture and singers and amazing.
we've been touching up on animation and the creativity, but let alone there, like I said, there's so many avenues to go down when it comes to all this stuff. There's music, there's a lot of people have been making a bunch of different types of assets, and there's even as far as widgets, like the coding and stuff that people don't even think about.
Oh
It's like
yeah,
all these widgets that people use, and someone had to code that, someone had to design it, you know? And there's so many different things that people do in this space.
it is. It's amazing. And yeah, you know, like I wanna. I've actually for an upcoming stream, I'm working on like an alt model to try something a little
Cool.
different and have some fun. But like, I always love that too. Like when VTubers have like a couple different models that they kind of bounce between that can do different things or kind of have like a different stylistic vibe. Do you have any like alt models you like to use, or is this Spelly's true and only form?
I have several different define alt model because I have different outfits, but I don't have particularly like a
That
completely
counts.
different, you know, I have different
Like a
OCs,
different
but
style.
yeah, but I do have this one in particular that people, I'm pretty sure I could do this, that people love to redeem.
Oh,
And
cool. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
no,
Like,
you're
let's see it
fine.
right now, Spelly. Make it happen. This
Ah!
is live. We're doing it live.
So
Oh, I'm getting a peek behind the curtain right now. People, look at that. Oh, you have someone. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Buff Spelly. Holy shit.
slowly.
I will try not to get on your bad side because I'm just a weak little goblin, and that's
Aw.
amazing. I love that.
And yeah, we have a bunch of different outfits, and each one has a different story. So this one's is very
That's cool.
simple. I just started getting into actually working out in real life to, you know, better myself and better my health. And so we have a little
Oh,
representation of
way to
that.
go. Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
good.
Do you have a reason for your alt model, or is it just I just want to do this?
There's a premise for it. I'll tease it in that really wanted to do like an open lines call-in episode or stream, like where people like chat can just kind of call in. So we're gonna do like, you know, gobs. Oh my god.
That was a redeem from
Hydrate.
my own. Yeah, right now would
Hydrate.
be a great time to hydrate. Probably should have turned those
Yeah.
off. I am so sorry.
I can take a hint, Spelly. Jeez, subtle. No, I love that. That model is great. I love Buff Spelly. It's a good look. You make it work. You make it work. No, that's cool. I love that. Yeah, no, it's so fun just to have like little, yeah, even like you said, like sort of alt outfits or models that you can switch between. It just keeps things interesting. And
Yeah.
this has sort of been like my only model that I've had so far, and I'm always adding to it. But I wanted to kind of have it. Oh, look at that. Spelly's life bar. Is it going down? Is the life bar going down?
My life bar is going down, and someone's doing
Oh
that.
no. It's not me. Not me. Don't look at me. That's so fun. Oh, look at all that. I'm getting a peek at all the alt model stuff behind the scenes.
If you want to see behind the scenes, these are what makes the 3D
Let's just talk about all the
working.
stuff that chat cannot see right now. Oh, look at that. I love a node view. I
Yes,
love a
nodes.
complicated web of nodes doing computer stuff. That's wild.
All right, that should have turned it off. You guys, I don't know who's doing it, but I see you guys. You're being naughty, and you're gonna get it. Well, you're gonna get it elsewhere.
But I love that. That's like part of the fun. I love the interaction. I love the chaos. Like,
yes.
I don't know if you've ever seen like Jaws streams.
Oh my gosh,
but
yes.
oh my god, it's the best. It's just like sensory overload in the best way. Like, it's just eye candy. You know, like just sugar for your eyeballs.
Yeah, it's really nice to have that interaction and everything. And people love throwing things. They love breaking things. You know.
Yeah,
One of their
if there's
favorites.
anything we've learned, yeah, it's like chat loves to mess with their streamer. And why not? Let's let them. Like, that's part of the fun. Like,
You want me to let? It can
I'm
get
guilty
really
of that
chaotic.
too. I love I've been on many Shindig streams where like I'm just going
Oh
nuts
my
with
gosh,
the
yes.
TTS features, and
Yeah.
it's fun. It's yeah, it's so fun.
But it's yeah. Do you have any plans for going even further? Like, do you see your style of streaming becoming even more used in the future?
Um, I mean, again, like I would love to learn. I feel like it's tough because I feel like all of these tools. Hang on, I'm gonna hydrate.
That's a good idea.
I feel like all of these tools have their strengths and weaknesses. So like it's so fun because your model can do stuff that mine can't. Like someone like Nilbog, who's like an Unreal Engine VTuber, he can do a whole bunch of stuff that I can, and vice versa. And I would love to just sort of experiment more with like other tools. Like
Yeah.
I want to learn Blender. I want to experiment with the 3D side of things. I want to learn Live 2D. I want to try all these different things. So honestly, like this is like creative playtime for me. This is, you know, like I just want to learn and experiment and absorb as much as I can, and while, you know, building on my idea and just having fun with it, you know. So, you know, I have a lot of like short-term goals. I really don't know where I'm going with all of this. I just want to enjoy myself. And again, like I
Honestly,
love
yeah.
what I do. I love my day job, but I find this so creatively fulfilling and inspiring that it's, you know, it's important to have side projects, and it's important to have hobbies and passions in life. And I think that's what, you know, keeps us sane and keeps us feeling fulfilled, you know, like especially when you work in the arts, there's like a lot of it's easy to fall into the trap of like this job, it becomes my entire identity, and all my self-worth hinges on, as an artist, hinges
Ooh,
on what show I'm working on or who I'm working with or what my title is, you know what I mean?
right.
Which as a young artist, there's so much emphasis put on that, and there's so much pressure. We were kind of talking about this, about like you got to be the best, and same with VTubers. Like if I see so many talented people who kick themselves because they don't feel like they're at a level they should be at or whatever, but and I sympathize with that, but it's like, you know, like everybody has their own path, and you know, like what everyone's doing is valid, and as long as you're being authentic, you'll find your audience eventually. But you know, just enjoy it, enjoy the creative outlet and the creative freedom that you have with this.
Especially, yeah. Let alone even when you're growing, that gives you room to make the errors and mistakes and learn from them. But once you know,
Totally.
it it becomes harder to do new things or to try new things, as you know, as you grow, essentially, because people expect, at that point some people are expecting things from you. Now granted, there are many people who break the mold though. Like they just don't care. They'll do whatever they want regardless. And I think that's really cool too, because that's them essentially. This is what they want to do, this is what they like to do, and this is what they're going to do, you know?
There is, yeah, I know. There's that weird pressure for some reason where people like,
Right.
yeah, they're expected to do a certain thing or be a certain way, and then yeah, and then you feel like you have to stay in your lane, and I don't know. Maybe to my own detriment, I'll never do that. Like if I want to try something different, I'll try it, and people might hate it, but you know, that's part of the risk of creativity, and you know, like, but you know what, like all the VTubers and the artists and streamers and stuff that I always gravitate towards, if it, you know, if they're a fun person to like hang out with or watch, I don't really care what they do. Like
Mhm.
if they're interesting to watch, like do whatever you want, and I'm sure they'll make it entertaining. And but yeah, I get that. I know there's like this weird pressure that you gotta like, once you find your thing, like that's it forever, you know, you can only be that. Like
Ooh.
what if I want to be an anime girl one day? What the fuck, guys? Let me be me, you know?
Right. I feel like as a VTuber, your avatar, your models, and everything, all of that is just kind of just an extension of, or it's something just to kind of show who you are in this moment. But it's not something that, you know, I am not this character forever, you know? Or I am not
Hmm.
the content that I make forever. If I want it to be, then sure, that's my decision, but I don't have to be, you
I
know, there's
love
no
that though
force.
about VTubing too. It's so like um because it is an amazing space because you can represent yourself any way you want. Like
Mhm.
it's such, especially with everything that's going on in our world right now, not to get political, but it's such like an accepting place, and it's such like a beautiful place where like, you know what, like I feel like I identify with this type of character of this gender or whatever, and like you can do that and you can be that character and you can be like almost more authentically yourself than you are in the real world. You know what I mean? Like it's just this pure expression of self, which is kind of amazing
Yeah,
to see.
it is. It really is. When it comes to VTubing, sorry, ignore my hands.
No, I know, I love it. No, keep doing, no, keep doing it.
Choo, 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 choo,
Spell
choo.
break.
When it comes to VTubing, when you decided on, I guess because you had mentioned that you went with Gob, which was an older character of yours, but when you
Yeah.
you got into VTubing, not like super duper late, but just later than apparently everyone who decided to
I'm
get
late.
into in like
Oh, you
2020.
Oh, we were just talking about this too. I
Yeah,
feel
we
like
were.
everyone I asked, everyone got into VTubing in 2021. I feel like everyone became a VTuber in 2021, and I get it because we were all like cooped up, and what a
Yeah.
great way to. I mean, I if anything, I have like regrets. I'm like, I wish I had
Aw.
known about this
Mhm.
at the beginning of the pandemic, because it probably would have been like been so good for like my mental health, and also just like
Aw.
something constructive
Mhm.
and something productive to do while I'm like a prisoner in my own home, you know? So like
Right.
it's hilarious because yeah, everybody's like, yeah, COVID turned me into a VTuber. Lockdown made me VTube, which is amazing. But yeah, I know. Oh, you can say it. I know. I'm late to the game. I'm like, I wish I had discovered it sooner, but
I'm glad that
I'm
you
glad I'm
discovered
here
it.
now.
Right,
I'm
exactly.
here now.
Exactly. Is there any particular, like, there, how do I put this? There's kind of a very vibe when it comes to VTubing. Now, there are so many unique VTubers out there. There are. But it would be a lie to say that many of them are anime style. You know what I mean? They're all, they share
Hmm.
in a sort of, I don't want to call it traditional VTuber models, but you just see it a lot where it's like the Japanese anime style, you know?
Which makes sense because I mean that's sort of like where it originated from, right? So it kind of makes sense that
Right.
there's a lot of that because that was sort of like what birthed it, right?
Right. How would you feel that your style compares to that of a traditional VTuber model?
Again, like it was the only there was not much more thought put into it other than like this is just like the way I like to draw, you know what I mean? Like
That makes sense.
again, like working in animation, you kind of have to be like a bit of a like an artistic chameleon. You have to be able to like adapt
Yes.
and change styles. So like I'll give you an example. Like I mean, in the last 5 years, I went from working on like a kids show. I worked on the Animaniacs reboot, and then I went to a preschool show. I worked on like a Looney
Aw.
Tunes preschool show, and then I
Mhm.
went to an adult R-rated superhero show. I worked on Creature Commandos. So,
Oh,
like all three of those shows are wildly different in tone, in
right.
style, everything. But you have to, as like an animator, you have to sort of, the more versatile you are, the easier it is to find work and all that kind
Yes.
of stuff. And so I had to like adapt. But my default sensibilities always kind of fall to like this whatever style you would label Goblin as. And my style changes and preferences change, you know from time to time, and it evolves, but I always tend to like gravitate towards like weird little cartoony guys, weird
Aw.
little goblins with man boobs,
That's so cute.
that's my whatever you want to label that as. But like yeah, no, so you know I embrace it. Like I love that people obviously really love that anime style, and it works so well with VTubing, and I totally understand why it's sort of like the default, you know, VTubing style, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
And I think there's obviously value to that, and like for sure keep it going. But I also like that you're starting to see that mold being broken a little bit
Honestly,
more.
yeah.
And even within like, I wouldn't call your model like a traditional the traditional style either. Like, even though you do have like some slight anime girl vibes, you put your own spin on it, and your design is its own thing, and it's not you. I wouldn't say your design is traditional. Like, even the way you move, your character moves and everything is so unique. Like, that's the thing. It's like, so I think we don't want to all be doing the same thing over and over
Right.
and over again, but like, even the smallest spin or unique take you can put on a character, like, go for it. And it could be like a tiny detail, but like, whatever people can do to make it their own, like, I encourage that, because that's part of this is self-expression. And you know but yeah, I don't know, like, I never want to like say like this is the style things should be and it shouldn't be this style. Like, I kind of embrace it all, and I kind of like I said, like, I've been in some collaborative streams where there were like 4 or like 5 of us on screen at once,
No
and
chaos.
everyone, yeah, well, first of all, everyone's talking over each other, which that's such a VTuber thing. Like,
Yeah.
none of us are capable of shutting up ever, myself especially.
Oops.
But like, everybody's a different style, and I love that. And like, break the molds. I think everyone should try and do their own thing,
Yes.
and just make it their own. But yeah, there's no right and wrong. If you like the anime style and that's something that like speaks to you as an artist, and that's how you want to present yourself, like, don't feel bad about that. Just do it. Like, do whatever you want.
That's a really good advice, and I have some friends that I would like to ship that to, because they've been kind of thinking, I'm never going to be able to get into the VTubing space because my style is wildly different from anime. And it's like, that's not how it works. I promise you that's not how it works. You just got to do your own thing and people will catch on,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, at least I always find that, like, if I see somebody who has a design that's like wildly outside of the box, like, that'll grab my attention. Like, I'll click on them and I'll take a peek and see what they're
Yes.
about. So there's definitely that, like, but it goes for anybody. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, are they authentic? That's always my biggest concern, is like, I want to watch someone who I feel is like being real with me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want, I think it doesn't matter what your character is, as long as you're being authentic to yourself and you're just expressing yourself in a genuine way, then I'll enjoy watching you, and I think other people will too.
Yeah. I think a lot of people need to hear that.
Yeah,
Especially...
I hate that, like, gatekeepery stuff with art, and I hate like when people try to like put rules on art, like it has to be this and it can't be that, and like, no, you know what, it can be anything you want. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, don't feel pressure to oh, I have to be this character, or I have to like. And I get it, like, some people are trying to make this a career, and it's very competitive, and they want to, like, I get the need to like follow trends to a certain extent,
Right.
but don't make that your guiding force.
Just like a small supplement every now and then, if it even
Yeah,
leans
exactly.
more into
Yeah.
what makes you creative too.
Oh, totally. Like, you can't be tone deaf either. Like, you need to kind of like read the room, but like,
Right.
You can still be yourself within that.
Yeah. I think that's it's so exciting. Sorry, I can't stop thinking a mile a minute of just all the different things that I've seen within the last, just this year, from what, can you believe it's already it's already almost May.
I know.
Oh gosh.
I know. Like, I feel like I know. Don't even talk to me about that. It's crazy.
Time.
I'm
Actually,
like looking at my to-do list and all the shit I want to do for like streams this year, and I'm like, well, it's already May.
Oh,
The year's over.
basically.
What have you done with yourself? What have you done with yourself, Gob?
Not
Name
only
3
that,
things you've accomplished.
I'm
It's
ready.
already 2027. What have we done with ourselves, with our lives?
The years. No.
Yeah, the year is 2030, Spelly.
No, I haven't produced
Too
my own
late.
whole entire entire
lost our
show
chance.
yet.
We're irrelevant now, Spelly. We got to move on now. We're done.
No, that actually makes me wonder where VTubing's that makes me wonder where VTubing is going in, let's say, even the next 5 years or so.
I don't know. I know it's exciting because it seems to be changing all the time, and like I just think it's like we're just like in a golden era of like indie art. Like a lot of people are really like down because of AI and all that bullshit, but I try to be like an optimist. Like I actually think it's a better time to be an artist now than it ever has been, because everything is so ridiculously accessible. Like even with like VTubing, like OBS, I cannot believe that OBS is free.
I know.
It's such a powerful, amazing tool. I would gladly pay for OBS, and I would totally understand it if they put it behind a paywall. I would get it. I know people would be outraged, but I'd be like, you know what? This is a great tool. I get it. But the fact that OBS is free, the fact that Blender is free, the fact that YouTube is probably the greatest education you can get on anything. Like all of my valuable life skills I've learned from YouTube. Like
that's how I got into animation. I'm completely self-taught through YouTube.
I paid for animation school like a sucker. I should have just been on YouTube. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but like, no, it's so true. Like all you need, the trick though, is that you just need the motivation. But if you have the motivation, everything is there for you to create. Like editing tools and even the stuff that you have to pay for is like relatively cheap. Like you could shoot a movie on your phone. You can edit on your phone. You do anything. It's kind of crazy. The trade-off is that, anyone can make something, so everyone makes something, and then everything becomes kind of oversaturated, and it's harder to get discovered or have your work seen. But that shouldn't stop you. Like if you really put effort into what you're doing, it'll always find its audience and rise to the top if you're persistent.
Right. I honestly couldn't even imagine doing what I do today 20 years ago. I don't think, because the technology was even just 20 years ago. I say just 20 years ago, realizing that was 2005, 30 years ago.
I'm gonna ask like a really dumb question since I don't know anything, but like maybe Spelly knows. I don't know. Maybe Spelly knows. Who is like regarded as like the first VTuber? Is there officially someone who is the first VTuber ever?
That's actually an interesting question, because there's a first VTuber and then there's a first coined VTuber, if you know what I mean.
Interesting. Yeah. As soon as I asked that question, I was like, I bet you there's a lot of drama around this question. I bet you there's a lot of differing opinions and a lot of infighting and arguments about this question.
Right. I actually don't remember who the first technically VTuber. I don't remember what her name was, ironically, because, VTubing is as it is now. But the first coined VTuber, and she just recently came back to streaming too. My arm is being funky. Was Ikazuna.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't know that they were regarded as
the little for VTube. I don't really use VTube Studio because I'm 3D, but it has a logo, the little pink bow.
Yeah.
That's why.
Because that's why. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Whoa, you just blew my mind. Spelly is just Spelly is teaching me things. Let's see it, guys. If you tune into Shop Talk, you're gonna learn. We're gonna teach you. Spelly is gonna learn you a whole bunch of stuff. That's the best part about being a headmistress, is being able to teach people things somehow magically. I appreciate you, Spelly. No, seriously, like you're teaching me about all the things I don't know, which it's a lot. Okay, there's a lot of stuff I don't know.
There is a lot of history when it comes to all this.
It is interesting, but then I also think like, I think of like I'm always like, what isn't what's his name, the turtle at Disney World or Disneyland? Like, I bet you he is technically, what's his name, Crush or whatever. I bet you he's technically the first VTuber.
Finding Nemo?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about?
At like Disneyland, they had that thing where like you could go into that room and they had the CG turtle from Finding Nemo and you could like talk to him.
I have a feeling I know what you're talking about, but I've also never been to Disneyland.
Oh, okay. Well, trust me, he's real. He's very real.
How long ago
but it's just
was
funny
that?
because I've always like thought in my head, I'm like, he's kind of like, as far as I'm aware. I feel like he should get the credit of first VTuber because I can't think of another
Was it someone behind like a screen talking live and everything?
Yeah, I think it's I think, but
Oh.
he was kind of like motion tracked a little bit, like
Mhm.
a quasi. I don't fully know the mechanics of it, but yeah, I think it was just like a dude behind the screen with a mic, just talking to people who need shade for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think the shade part because it's freaking Disney. It gets so hot down there. Well, I
Yeah,
guess
that's the only. Yeah, nobody goes into the like, what do you call it, the World of Animation Pavilion at Disneyland unless you need like a water break and you need to get out of the sun. Like
oh,
it's usually just
this is
full
so
of like tired looking dads like sitting for 5 minutes like trying not to have heat stroke. Like I feel like that's usually what those whatever you call attractions, they're barely attractions, but whatever you want to call them are meant for. But
right.
I Crush the Turtle. I think he might be our, all of our granddaddy.
Let's take a sneaky peek. I'll do a little bit of research and see what year, unless you happen to know off the top of your head what year.
No idea, no idea. I mean, I'm
Gotcha.
just riffing. I don't know. I could be probably wrong. I'm sure I'm wrong, but I always kind of thought, I'm like, wow, that was kind of ahead of its time, that thing.
Yeah, especially if here it is, Turtle Talk, or 2004 is when it first opened. So the next question
Wow,
is
that's crazy. So he's practically ancient. So that is like he's got to be the first
over 20
VTuber,
years
like,
ago. Oh,
yeah.
that hurts saying.
I know. It's okay. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm a millennial. I remember 20 years ago, kind of.
Kind of.
Kind of. It's a bit of a blur, but
A little bit. I think the first VTuber, not counting Kazuna Eye because that was 2016, but the other one I had mentioned was 2011. So if we do count Crush, technically Crush would come first.
damn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the plot thickens, everybody.
Now we have to write that down somewhere. Put it.
Yep, we got to go change the whatever the history books and give Crush the fucking respect and credit that he deserves.
That's right. I
Of
can't.
course, typical Disney did it first. Surprise, surprise. Those overachieving bastards.
Gosh. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where VTubing goes.
Yeah, have you experimented at all? Like, because you have a CG model, which I feel like having a CG model like opens up so many other doors. Like, have you ever experimented with like your model in VR or anything like that?
Yes, I've actually shot movies in.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's really
like
exciting.
where? Like in like VR chat kind of thing or something else or what?
That honestly, speaking of programs that are incredible to be free, VR chat is by far, I don't know how that's free because there's so much you can do in there.
I need to get in there, man. I finally got like I don't know. I'm just like it seems like a whole ordeal to like because I want to like I wish so badly I could have like a custom little like gob model to go into VR chat with, but like I need to just try it out because I haven't tried it yet. I love fucking around with VR, but for some reason I've been like just putting off experimenting with VR chat and stuff.
There's so much to do. I feel
think
like
because I don't have a model, and
that's also true.
I'm such like a perfectionist dork. Like I don't want to use like a stock model. I'm like, oh, I want something cool.
Something that speaks to me. It's me.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you be able to use that modded model, or is it just for the game and everything?
Oh, that's interesting. Could you bring like because that's like a low poly like N64 model? Like, could you bring a model like that into VR chat?
Was it made in Blender or Unity?
I believe it was made in Blender. Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Oh,
as long as
crazy.
it's rigged, you might have to do some adjustments to rig it so that it can work in VR chat.
Right.
But yes.
Or I'll just be like some green blob that's just collapsing in on itself, like some weird VR chat entity, like screaming in pain.
Honestly, with how VR chat is, it kind of works.
Yeah, that's kind of the charm of it too, though, right? I kind of like that, like when those models like don't totally work, right? There's like a charm to that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's some
That's
people
cool though.
got
So
even
you
started.
shot movies and stuff in
Yeah,
there, and like that's cool.
it was a lot of fun. I have like I said, extensive lore, so there's a lot.
See, that's wild though that you can again like use VR chat as almost like
Mm.
a medium for animation. Like that's
Oh,
wildly
actually,
creative. I love that.
you bring it up. There was one animation that I had done recently that I took a video that I literally went into VR chat, I recorded it with a friend, and I used that as the reference for the animation, so I knew like the layout and everything.
Oh, cool.
It worked really well, so it works not only for VTubing, but it works for animating. Yippee!
Yeah, you can like plot out like yeah, you could use it like that's pretty crazy. So have you done like have you done any can you stream directly from VR chat? Is that
Yes.
possible?
Yes, and it's
Oh
so,
wow.
so interesting. There are actually VTubers who made, like, their entire thing is VR chat because they have their VR, like, their model in VR chat. And that's their content. It's not just about VR chat, but they were able to make so, so much out of it, whether it's they made their own
That's
worlds,
crazy.
they, like,
That's just their plane of existence is VR
yes,
chat.
yeah. It is so, so, there's so much you could do. Oh my gosh.
It is exciting.
It
That's yeah.
is.
I'm very interested in how that'll come into play,
Hmm.
like the whole like VR thing, because you know all of that's getting better and better. All of these tools are just constantly getting better. The trick is just like learning it all, right? Like I wish I knew Blender. Do you do a lot of work in Blender? Do you know Blender at all, or?
Blender, unfortunately not. I know it's one I need to get into, but Unity I've touched on, which is why I've made like a bunch of assets in VR chat and stuff. But Blender, I do want to
You
eventually do Blender.
I've already peer pressure you into this like when we were chatting before stream, but like you all of you at the VIAs really need to have Nilbog, the
Yeah.
VTuber Nilbog live on, because again like he's working in Blender and in Unreal Engine, and he's doing really cool stuff with
Yeah.
that, and especially feel like CG models like yours aren't as common, but I feel like they're probably the most versatile models. Like you could do so much
Whee!
with like your model can exist in like
I can
so
turn around.
many
Whoa.
yeah, and so many like platforms and stuff too. Like that's wild. Do you have like a special model for VR chat, or are you able to bring like this version of Spelly into VR chat?
I can actually bring this version right in. Yep.
That's crazy. And does it still have all the hand tracking and everything?
If I'm using my VR, yes.
It's
But
like
I don't have to
okay.
use my VR or anything. But yeah.
Interesting.
I can do all this stuff. I don't think it has finger tracking, but that's the limitation of my VR itself. If I had like a more intricate and expensive VR, I could absolutely have face tracking and finger tracking and everything. But I could definitely move. I actually have full body I recently got, so I can move my legs now and everything too.
Oh what? Oh wow.
I can't do it
Yeah.
right now, but
That's yeah, you don't see as much of the full body tracking, but that's wild too. Whenever I see that too, that's like magic.
so
It's
cool.
so wild.
It
It
feels
is.
like, and then they have their own environments where they walk around and stuff, and it's like, whoa, it's like I'm here. Ah.
It's crazy how accurate it's getting too, because like you don't even need like any of those like stupid like mocap suits anymore. You don't need to wear like super tight
Thousands.
spandex anymore. Like
Right.
it'll just figure it out now. It'll just track you. It's wild, and it's so accurate.
It is really impressive. I wonder, actually, you bring it up, VR chat. Did you know that in VR chat, they have these new worlds that essentially force you to become 2D? I would love to show you at some point. Maybe I have some pictures if I took.
Oh.
Yeah, so like even as my model as 3D, it will force it to become a pixel 2D avatar. And like you play on a 2D space, and it sounds weird because
Oh,
you're in
wow.
VR, you think you want to be in 3D, but it's
No,
so
that's
unique.
cool.
Yeah.
So it like flattens your model and like
Yeah.
turns it
It's
into pixel art kind of.
I have to show you. I have to show you at some point because it's like
Yeah, that's wild. I want to see. That's something. There you go. That's it took a while to get there, but that's what I want to learn in the future. I want to like do more with like VR and stuff. It would be so cool to get Gob in there and just run around, run amok, just go wild, running around, just little green guy about shin height, just running around VR chat terrorizing everybody.
That would be really, really cool. And I guess scary for
No,
some
I won't
people.
terrorize anybody, but no, I will be a chill. I'm a chill goblin. I'm a pretty relaxed, easygoing goblin.
I could actually picture it, because if you get someone that knows, you know, or if you learn it yourself, Unity or Blender, I can see maybe one day, maybe as a what is it, April Fool's joke, you go on stream and then boom, everything's just 3D instead of 2D. It's like, wait, what happened?
That would be fun.
3D gob, you have 3D like space.
That's something
the talk show.
Yeah, that's something I definitely want to play around with, and I really love like streams that kind of like take advantage of like multimedia stuff. Like I want to do. I've been working on some stream premises where I'm gonna have some sort of like some live action components and combining, you know, VTubing with some canned filmed elements, some live action elements. I want to, you know, incorporate different models, and I would love to incorporate more CG and, you know, stop motion, puppets, everything. Like I want to, I want it to just be like a weird hodgepodge of everything, you know?
That would be really cool to see. Is there any direction in particular that you want to go firstly? Is that a word, firstly?
It is now. Firstly, I think so. I've used firstly in a.
I feel like,
why not?
Yeah, sure. Dictionary.
Yeah. Well.
Oop. Uh-oh. I might have lost him. It might be my connection. Uh-oh.
Firstly.
Oh no. I should probably message him and be like, uh-oh. I think I lost you.
Like to I don't know. That's a good question. I think probably CG, because again, like I look at like your model and here.
Testing?
Oh no.
I think
here's the scuff we were talking about.
Wait, scuff? I've never. Hello? Let's see if I can fix things. Let me grab a tool real quick. Let me see. If you can hear me, I'm gonna grab a hammer really quick. I'm sure he won't notice that. If you can hear me when I say the word banana, let me know. And I won't whack you over the head with a hammer that I totally have in my hand right now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Wait, is it working?
Oh my god. Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
It was weird because I could I could hear you and everything was going fine through that whole thing, but I don't know what happened.
It was probably my end. My end's been stuttering a hot minute there.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm still here.
Okay.
Hey, like we said, you know, you can blame me. I was wishing for scuff and I got it. I was like, you know what?
The scuff is real.
The scuff spell was cast, and you know, dreams were made true. What were we talking about?
So I have great memory.
What were we talking about?
Swear.
VTubing or something?
Something about VTubing. Like VTubing's really
What's
cool.
that?
It's that thing that people. You know what's crazy? People call it VTubing, and VTubing technically stands for virtual YouTuber, or VTuber is virtual YouTuber, but yet we're on Twitch.
I know, right?
V Twitcher? That sounds really bad.
Twitcher? I don't know. Like, yeah, there's I don't know. I know there's so much like debate around that term too. Like some people would rather be called like toon tubers or live animation or whatever. Like, yeah, call yourself whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat. As long as we're on the same
page.
But
like,
that we
yeah,
like
sorry. Now I remember. Basically, what I was saying was like, I want to do more like of what you're doing. I want to dabble in CG. I think that's sort of next for me, because again, like I like your model and Nilbog's model and other people that sort of have these CG models. Like, there's so much freedom with those models. Like, it's kind of crazy what you can do with them. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I can't do that. I can't do that shit.
Signs, I guess.
This is the extent of my hand tracking. Is this? This is my hand tracking.
If you wanted to do this, it would take you a little while to animate it.
Yeah, I'll be back in 24 hours and I'll be able to do that. Yeah, exactly. Give me a couple hours,
No sleep.
and I'll be back sleep deprived, but I'll be able to do that. Yeah.
Let's go. I'm just gonna put my hands down. There we go. Hands are down.
No problem. Sorry about that connection issue there. It was where I could hear you the whole time, so I'm not sure.
That's why I was like, something's going on here.
I was screaming. I was just screaming at the top of my lungs, like, Spelly, I'm right here.
I swear.
No.
But it's actually been a really fun time talking. So for those that don't know, I actually had a set of questions that I was going to ask. I don't know if we even hit all the questions, but I'm gonna be honest, foregoing the questions, it doesn't matter. The point is, I had a really fun time talking with you.
No, it was very kind of you all to like send me the questions beforehand, so I could, like at least have a general sense of what was going on. But no, I mean, like again, like I love that. That's why I was so excited to jump on here with you, is because I love that all of you are really being like, you're advocating for the artistry behind VTubing. The award show was so great. You guys did such an awesome job putting that together, and all of the people you showcased were like amazing, wildly different and interesting, and I love that you had like VTubers of like different sizes and stuff. Like, you gave the little guy like me a chance, and I really appreciated that. So I really appreciate the support that you guys have shown, and I love. I'm not that I'm biased or anything. Not that, me, never.
What?
No, I just love what you're all doing, and I'm excited to see the future episodes. Do you guys have other guests lined up? Can you tease any future guests?
We have future guests. Yeah, I was like, I might have to ask about that.
I'm going off script. Sorry,
No.
Don't listen to the goblin. Do not listen to the goblin.
I'd love to tease a little bit if we had something 100% solidified, but we definitely have a whole, I think we have the whole year listed. Like, the plans are in motion. Yeah, it's very, very exciting. Whee!
No, it is. I love this format, and you said that you're all gonna sort of like rotate and take turns hosting and everything.
Yeah. So the next time, if all goes according to plan, knock on all the wood and everything, the next host should be Moni. Actually, Moni herself. Heck yeah.
Oh, nice.
Knocking on the wood. Wait, I gotta put my hands back.
I'm doing it.
Thank you.
It's my fancy my fancy emotion tracking. Yeah, there you go. Just spell some wood.
Yeah.
Put a spell on that wood.
Whoa.
No, that's cool. I'm excited to see like what you all do.
Thank you.
And yeah, even all of you that put this together, you're all super talented people, and you're all doing really cool stuff. So yeah, everybody come back for more shop talk, because this is a great thing that you're doing.
I'm really excited. I'm excited for the future of shop talk.
Can I take that hammer home with me over there on the wall there, like
as a souvenir?
Do I get a souvenir? Yeah, I would love a hammer. I just want to start smashing stuff on my way out, and
Let me go really quick into the other room and ask the other members of the team.
Give me that little tiny wrench. Give me that little tiny baby wrench. That's like a goblin-sized wrench. I'll take that. Sure.
Actually,
like if you only have one hammer.
Size.
It is, and I don't want to take your only hammer. I'll take the wrench. It's fine.
I think they'll be fine with the wrench, honestly.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I want a little souvenir from my experience at Shop Talk. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Pleasure. Is there anything else that you would like to tell our Shop Talk viewers at home?
No, just, support artists. I know like AI art is really popular and trendy right now, and like I get it. I get the curiosity. I get people wanting to like experiment with it, which is fine. And like you want to mess around with it, go ahead, but don't support artists at the same time. If you really have your heart set on a piece of art, like find an artist you like and commission them, or at the very least, like share an artist's work that you're a fan of, or I just feel like that's such an issue right now. And all your favorite VTubers are hardworking artists, and like Spelly said, we're like a weird sleep deprived bunch, and we kind of pour ourselves into what we're doing, so this is great. That's also why this is great, is to show the artistry and the work that goes behind all of this stuff, because it takes a lot of, it's crazy the amount of skills and time that it takes to be a VTuber or build a VTuber. It's pretty wild. So yeah, just support artists. That's all.
That's a really good message. Aw, sorry. It was more heartfelt. My brain was like, oh yeah, go check out
I know.
Gob.
Hey, come to my stream. I promise I'm usually not this. I mean, I'm a sentimental little goblin. I speak from the heart. Okay,
Aww.
give me a break. I'm a very sensitive little goblin. I have feels. I have many feelings. But yeah, if you want to see me be a little less serious, come, give me a follow on Twitch. Come hang out on my stream sometime, and things get a lot more like chaotic. But I like, I'm a goblin with depth. Like I'm a mischievous little guy, but I also have a big heart, and I care, and I'm passionate about artists and everything that we're doing together in this community, and I always just want to like all of us to support each other and just make cool stuff and enjoy it together, and it's great. That's also one last thought I'll leave you with, is that was something I was not expecting when I got into VTubing, was just the like sense of community within it. And I've met so many cool people and made so many like nice, amazing new friends that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And I was kind of shocked by that, because we're all a little introverted, weird little artist people, and I was not expecting to meet so many amazing, friendly people.
Yes, that is, especially when you see this. Some people see this as like a job or a workspace, and I don't know about you, but all the jobs that I've worked, like I've had some good peers, but this is a space where you can actually feel some real level connection. You know how jobs say, oh, we're all a family here, but then you have like jobs that you actually
and then they
feel
bust
like
out the pizza, and then they bring out like a shitty pizza, and they're like, "Here's your overtime pay." Everyone gets one slice. Don't you dare take a second slice.
A singular slice.
That's
and
not
then
part of the health plan.
If anything happens, make sure you sign a waiver. What do you mean?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
just pizza.
No, I get it. No, I know. And I get that this is like a professional sphere, and people like it's funny though too, because I actually work with Nilbog Live, that other VTuber I mentioned. It's hilarious because we like moonlight as VTubers, and then during the day we sit next to each other at Warner Brothers, and we're working on other shit. It's funny because then like every break we have, we're just like brainstorming and talking about like
bouncing
ideas for this.
That is so cool. Yeah. I don't think I've always had it the opposite way, where anyone that I knew in real life that are also in this space, I reconnected years later, like as VTubers, rather than, we knew each other IRL, and we both got into VTubing. Yeah, it's so like wild.
And you found out after the fact that they got into VTubing? Like you didn't know that they did?
This is a small world. I'm telling you, this is a small world. Yes.
It is weird. I've met like a couple VTubers IRL, and it's weird. It's fun. It's like meeting a celebrity, and it's like everybody kind of like in a weird way like gives off the aura of their VTuber too. Like it's like, oh yeah, it makes sense that you are that thing.
yeah. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Everyone at VIA appreciates it. I'm sure everyone watching appreciates it. It was so much fun.
Yeah. Thanks, chat. Thanks for everybody who came out. And Spelly, thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you. This was really fun, and you are so awesome and fun and easy to talk to. And yeah, thank you so much.
You know how it is with VTubing. We never stop talking.
I know. You're like, Gob, the door is over there. Please shut up and leave now. And it's like, okay, Spelly, I'm going. Okay, I get it. Just give me the little baby wrench, and I'll be on my way.
I'll give you the wrench, but I want you to stay. We still have a little bit to talk about. I'm excited for it. But for everyone that is watching, this is the end. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. This was our shop talk presented by the VTuber Industry Association, and this is Gob. Thank you.
Bye.